Six Nations fixtures for 2023, folks. They are out. There's a lot of rugby to be played between now and then, so we can't read too much into the fixtures, but we will go and look at the fixtures to see if there's kind of anything pertinent, anything that sticks out from the fixtures, and you guys can let me know your thoughts. A quick glance will essentially tell you that rounds 1, 2, and 3 are the same as they were this year, except the venue is switched around. So Wales, instead of playing Ireland away in the first round, played them at home. Scotland and England, France and Italy. So they all swap places for rounds 1, 2, and 3. And then 2022's round 4 is now in round 5, and then 5 and 4. So yeah, it's pretty much the same as last year with rounds 4 and 5 swapped and home and away swapped for all the games, if that makes sense. For Italy, they're one of the teams with 3 home games, which is nice. They get a home game against Wales. We'll have to see what happens with Welsh rugby in the end of 2022 first, and whether the Italians can kind of build on the end of their Six Nations, but they did seem to be building. So maybe these final 2 games are the biggest targets based on 2022 Six Nations results anyway, but we'll have to wait and see. Certainly France, England and Ireland, first 3 games is a tough start, but the Six Nations, there's not really, apart from Italy, traditionally been any weak teams. And hopefully we're seeing Italy take a step out of that spot as well. We'll have to wait and see. For Wales, just the 2 home games, but helpfully against Ireland and England. Both games they lost in 2022, so having those ones at home certainly will help. But then it's the reverse with Scotland, who they managed to beat at home. They'll have to go to Murrayfield away. Likewise with Italy, certainly be a chance to bounce back. France away to finish the campaign. If Wales are in it, that's a tough way to finish. Like if Wales are still in it with that last round to go, you can't bank on a lot of points, but it's certainly been done before. And as I said, heaps of rugby to come between now and then. Scotland, it's England again. I kind of wish Scotland and England wouldn't start with each other, because at least from the Scottish perspective, that game just seems to be so massive that there seems to be a bit of a deflated feeling after that. I know that's not necessarily the case. Like Scotland were really up for it when they played Wales in that second round this year, but then they lost. After the joys of the week before and a campaign that was going to go maybe and take a step up, it was all very deflating. So I wouldn't mind seeing Scotland take on somebody else. Save England for the final round to see if it can mean something at the end, you know what I mean? Rather than the start. I don't know. But home to Wales, Ireland and Italy. Away trips to England and France are obviously going to be pretty tough. I should mention the ones in black are the away, and then the ones in green are home. Didn't say that at the start. For England, 3 home games, including a home one against France, which is pretty important, but ending with an away trip to Ireland. Home game against Scotland, obviously going to be an arm wrestle because of the way those games always seem to pan out. Home game against Italy, traditionally, it's been a chance to kind of, at least in the last couple of years, to refresh and rebuild after not the best first opening round, so it's I don't know, maybe a chance for them to rotate the squad, or at least to reset the game plan if things didn't go according to plan. But that being said, Italy in 12 months' time could be better than they were at the end of the 2026 Nations. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's a bit of a mixed one. Away to Wales and Ireland are certainly going to be hard games for the English, because everyone's up to play England. For Ireland, believe it or not, with only 2 home games, I actually like their fixtures list quite a lot, because the 2 home games they do have are the teams that finished first and third, so top half teams in 2022. Now, as I said, who knows how Wales and Scotland are going to be, plus Italy, come the Six Nations next year, but I don't think that looks too bad. Based on what we're seeing now, Ireland would certainly back themselves away with Wales, Italy and Scotland, and then home games against Italy, England and France. Yeah, that could be a nice one. As far as 2 home game campaigns go, I think that's the best reading so far. And then for France, I do think it's a tougher list than they had in this successful Grand Slam year in 2022. Away to Italy maybe is a nice way to warm up, because France should be beating Italy. But interestingly, it's a 6-day turnaround, and then they have to go to Dublin. So 2 away games to start, and a 6-day turnaround. So they play Italy on the Sunday, and then Ireland on the Saturday. Scotland in the middle of things when they've kind of got that 1 week with a break before and after, and then finishing the campaign with England away and then Wales at home. England away is obviously going to be tough. I should say also there's another one which is kind of a toughish 6-day turnaround, and that's Ireland. They play Scotland away and then have to come home to England with a 6-day turnaround in that one as well, because it's the Sunday in round 4 and then the Saturday in round 5. So, yeah, as I said, can't read too much into it. And there's a lot going to change between now and then. But I don't mind Ireland's fixture list, despite the fact that it's only 2 games at home. I think of the 2 games you want at home, they've got the right ones. Everyone else has got a game which kind of looks potentially pretty hairy. France having to go away to Ireland and England is tougher than 2022. England finishing with the away trip to Ireland, like I mentioned. Scotland have got to go away to France. Wales have got to go away to France. And Italy. We just want to see Italy take another step up, don't we? So, yeah. You guys let me know your thoughts. Who do you reckon's got it best? Who do you reckon's got it worst? Do you see a potential favourite for 2023, or is it too far out to contemplate? You guys let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.